Are you ready to take your business to the next level and make the money you want so that you can create the impact you desire? Then you're in the right place. It's possible to run a successful business built around your life. Get ready for a little bit of tough love and a whole lot of strategy to grow your business without sacrificing your sanity. If you're ready to get out of your own way and step into the role of CEO, then let's go. I'm Amy Traw, and this is the Motivated CEO Podcast. There are so many strategies out there. There's so many different ways you can market your business, but how do you really stand out in a saturated world? How do you get clients from social media, from video? Well, today's guest expert, Kim Rittberg, is an award-winning marketer, former media executive, and video coach who helps business owners increase their visibility and revenue through video and podcasts. She teaches you how to show up confidently on camera and make content that makes you money. Kim, this is something we need to be talking about more because the power of video is amazing, especially in today's saturated marketplace. So tell us a little bit more about yourself before we dive in. You've got all these accolades, all these awards. Tell us all the things.
So thank you for having me. And I think the number one thing that I really take from being in media. So I was a TV news producer in national TV, writing and producing stories, everything from red carpets, like for big movie premieres to the inauguration. I was there for Obama's inauguration. And all about storytelling and all about being confident when you're on camera. So what I realized though is when I went from media and I wanted to become a business owner, I was 100% hiding from the camera. And I was hiding from the camera, which means I was hiding from clients. And so I had this process where I began using the skills that I have and the knowledge that I have. And I was like my first guinea pig. I'm like, well, if I want people to know who I am, I have to start showing up on camera. And so and the reason why I decided I wanted to launch my business is I was leading the Us Weekly video unit. So basically the celebrity magazine Us Weekly had a whole magazine and website. They didn't have a video unit and I got to launch it. And it was an incredible job. But when they were acquired, it was like bloodbath craziness. Like every acquisition is just crazy. And I was giving birth to my second child and I was in the hospital working, helping our team fill the open roles because people were quitting. Other people were fired. A lot of people were fired. It was just like such a mess. And I loved what I did, but I was like, I can't even have 2 days to myself in the hospital to give birth to my baby. Like this feels karmically off. So I knew I wanted to launch my business, but I went through everything that every other entrepreneur went through. I was like, who's going to hire me? How are they going to find out about me? What am I going to do? Like it made no sense to me, but I was like, I'm really committed to this. So I'm going to do it. But the very first thing is stop hiding from the camera because you're hiding from clients.
Oh my gosh, isn't that the truth? Like mic drop moment right there. Was that hard for you to make the shift from behind the scenes to more forward facing? Because I think that's something that a lot of business owners struggle with. They have these amazing products and services, yet they're hiding. Like you said, we're hiding from clients. So what did that look like for you? Was that naturally easy or was it a challenge?
Well, what I find ironic is I am someone who really likes people. Like I'm absolutely an extrovert. I find everyone interesting. Like that's why I was a journalist. I'm like, what do you mean? That's so interesting. You're so cool. Like I truly love humans. But I had done some on camera work, like for local TV. And then I had done some on camera for Us Weekly. Not so much. I was mostly behind the scenes. Honestly, I was like leading a team. I was more of a creative business person. But I really struggled to get on camera. And I'm thinking, oh my goodness, if I, who has all of the knowledge, literally, I train people to be on camera. I've trained celebrities, supermodels, authors, CEOs. If I, who train people to be on camera, feel uncomfortable and I feel like silly, then of course, other people who don't even have that TV background feel silly. So I think that it was a helpful moment for me because it really made me realize I am exactly who my clients are. And so it's hard for all of us. And I'll tell you something, there is not one person who has come to me and been like, I feel beautiful. My voice is perfect. And I love looking at myself on camera. Everybody is like, do you notice this thing on my left cheek? Or like, what about my waggly tooth? And I'm like, no one notices that. And if they notice it, they definitely don't care. And so I just think it's funny, like we're all really in our own head about these tiny superficial things that no one else is thinking about. There are some real things to work on: confidence, messaging, content, but the inner Oz is like we're really harsh on ourselves. Like we're super hard on ourselves.
Yes, I can totally relate to that. I still remember the first time I went live for the first, like, my armpits were sweating. My heart was racing. I'm like, oh my gosh, everybody's going to judge me. And like one person watched it. I'm like, what was I so afraid of? But it's like these stories that we tell ourselves and we get
Yeah.
so in our head. But the reality is nobody's really paying as much attention as we think they are. You just kind of have to rip the band-aid off and do it. And it gets easier. It's like there's a reason there's 400 and some episodes of this podcast because it was like, okay, I'm not comfortable with this, but in order to do the thing, I just have to do it. So I think
It's
it
so
comes down to
true.
that.
It's so true. And I like to say we have to get out of supermodel mode
Oh, yeah.
and get into teacher mode
Yeah.
because we think everybody is like watching us, like our hair, our makeup, our clothing, our voice. But if we have to really just be a teacher, teachers are not standing up there in front of a classroom being like, is this skirt flattering? Like, is this lipstick the right color? They're just like, I'm here to teach. So I think that once you shift your mindset from everyone's looking at me and everyone's judging me to I am here to bring my message, I am here to help people and teach people, it is a huge shift. And that is definitely what shifted me. But I've now helped like hundreds of students and clients, and that's a major shift is like I'm showing up to help people and to bring my message. It gets that supermodel mentality out of your head.
Yeah. I love that phrase, the supermodel mentality, because that's a perfect way to put it. And it's true, though. We get into our heads, we tell ourselves these stories. And I would love to know, like, what do you think most people are doing wrong with their content that's really wasting their time at the end of the day?
Sure. The number one thing is that so many people are hiding from the camera. There really, truly is. There are a couple of reasons. I think the number one thing is we have this fear. We, a lot of people come to me and the fear is disguised as other things. So sometimes the fear is sneaky. Fear will disguise itself as procrastination or busyness. But what it really is fear. I'm afraid someone's going to judge me. I'm afraid I'm going to look silly. I'm afraid I'm going to fail. I'm afraid I'm going to be exposed as a fraud. And the sooner we realize that it's fear holding us back, the sooner we can break through that fear. So I think the number one thing is really sit down and say, why am I not showing up? What am I actually afraid of? Then once you identify that what is really holding you back is fear, then we can work on the steps to break through it. But so many people come to me and they say, I think I want to make video. I want to make video, but they really have to break through that mindset challenge. And so I think the fear ranges from I'm going to be judged, I'm an imposter, I don't know what I'm talking about, I'm going to be feel silly, I'm going to look silly. But we have to remember that we are making up stories in our head. And when we're thinking about people watching us, we're always thinking about Julie, who was mean to us in high school. Like, Julie is not our client. Julie is not our target audience. First of all, she's probably not there. She's probably not following you. She's probably doing her own thing. She's chasing her kid at the playground. She's walking her dog. She's making dinner. She doesn't care. She's running her own business. She's her own CEO, whatever. She doesn't care what we're doing. You know who does care what you're doing? Lots and lots of potential clients. And so the sooner we get away from, I'm going to look silly, who wants to hear from me? I'm going to look like a fraud, and shifting into that mindset of, I do know what I'm talking about, right? I think that if you're running a business, you have to believe deeply you know what you're talking about. We can let imposter syndrome, if imposter syndrome sometimes creeps in, that's okay. But obviously, deeply, you have to know what you're doing. So, like, I only work with clients who have real businesses and have real expertise. Once you have expertise to share with people, you just have to come with that mindset and say, okay, I'm really going to focus on my message. The people I'm thinking about that are going to troll me are not there. They're in my head. Break through that fear and then create those small milestones to get where you're going. And that's the mindset shift and then the skill set shift.
Yeah, and that awareness is such a key aspect of this. Because so often we're in autopilot mode. We're doing all the things, running our business. But there is that subconscious fear that's really holding us back. But until we actually take the time to
Yep.
sit in it
Yep.
and really unpack and peel back those layers, we're going to be holding ourselves back. And exactly as you said, when we're holding ourselves back, we're holding the world back that needs us. If we have this amazing service, but we're just sitting over here in the corner, nobody's going to know about you. Nobody's going to find you. So can you give us some tips to show up confidently on camera? Because yeah, we know we need to do this. Yes, that imposter syndrome's kicking in. We've said, okay, I'm aware, I acknowledge, I accept, let's move on. How can we start to show up confidently on camera? What's the secret?
Sure, great. Let me give you some very immediate on-camera tips. And then I do think there's a subset of people who maybe are confident on camera, but are missing the strategy piece, or they're overwhelmed by how much time it will make and how much time it will take. So we could talk about that after. But first, I'll jump right into the on-camera tips. So the number one thing is that mindset shift. We have to shift out of supermodel mode, and then we have to shift into teacher mode. So forget about Julie, who was mean to you in high school. She's not on social media. She's not your ideal client. She's in another realm. So once we start showing up, the biggest thing, so I have this framework I call the PATCH framework, PATCH, preparation. So it's preparation of your mind. We just talked about that. Preparation of your message. You will not feel great on camera if you are not prepared. My daughter's going into her play today. She's never been in a play before. I asked if she was nervous. She was like, a little, but like not so much. And I said, you're probably not feeling super nervous because you are prepared. Preparation is the best antidote to nerves. There are some other nerves in there, but if you're prepared, you're like 75% of the way there. Okay. So that's P. A is authentic. We are in this amazing era where we have an opportunity to have a megaphone. When I started in TV, it was like anchors, that's it. Like anchors and celebrities, right? Those are the only people whose voices you heard. So we're actually in this incredible world where you have the opportunity to reach people and nobody needs you to be anyone else. Like think about your favorite podcasters, think about who you follow, right? It's all about authenticity. And my clients, like, so I have students who've come through my video bootcamp class and they come to me and they're like, I don't know what to do. How much should I show about my personal life? I had this one woman, Jessica, based in Houston. She was a mom of two and she's running her own company. And she's like, I don't know how much to bring in about my child. Does anyone care? All of that stuff. And I was like, just start like really storytelling about who you are. You're a mom of two little kids and you're running your business and it's going great. That's relatable and inspirational. And she started just showing up with the expertise, but also with that authentic tone. And she has been crushing it. I mean, so she is a real estate agent. She brought in $5 million in home sales last year directly from video. And I feel like that's just such a testament to you understand what you're doing and you keep doing it. But it's about peeling back the layer to saying, giving myself permission to show up as myself and not to only show up as a part of me. And that's been a really, really big key, both for me and my clients. So PA is authentic. T is turn off distractions. When you are in the zone, forget about your to-do list, forget about all the other emails to answer. You have to just be in it. And then C is confidence. So this is like, everyone's like, oh, it's like, be confident, blah, blah, blah. I have some like tips that you can use to actually be confident. So first of all, body language, just shake up your body, put your shoulders back, have that strong posture. That's going to feel good. Wear something that makes you feel awesome. So like I have like one lipstick color that I always wear that I know looks good. It's not the one today, but anyway, I have one great lipstick color. If I'm going to a speech, I have like one type of dress and one shoe I wear. I basically never veer from that. I know I look good. I don't have to think about it. Okay. So confidence. Sometimes when that imposter syndrome kicks in, we need that brag book. I want you to write down 3 things that were hard that you did. They can be professional or personal, but hold on to that because really we all let that negativity climb in. I've had times where I'm like, why am I doing this? Should I be doing this? Am I the right person? Why did they pick me? And I'm like, okay, look, I just like pull up my resume or I pull up my website. I'm like, no, Kim, you could do this. Like you turned nothing into something before. Like you did all this cool, like you worked at Netflix, like you launched the Us Weekly video unit. You can do this. Don't let the negative voices like turn those down. So take your brag book, meaning write down three things that you've done in your life that you're proud of, personal or professional, and look at those when you're feeling low or you're feeling like a fraud. So PAT. So preparation, authentic, turn off distractions, see confidence. H is harness. So harnessing your energy is like a little bit intellectual, but it's really important. Just like you need self-awareness to understand if you're not showing up on camera because you're afraid, you also have to be a little bit aware of your energy. I am coming in hot, New York City, right at you. Like I know that I'm a fast talker, and that's super overwhelming for many humans. So I had to train myself to slow down. And not because there's anything wrong with my voice or wrong with how I speak, but I want people to process what I'm saying. And if I'm speaking too fast, they can't take that in. And so it's not a judgment about how I talk. It's just like the truth is, I talk really fast, right? So I think that when you're harnessing your energy, you just have to be aware if you're giving a seminar, you're showing up on video, anytime you're public speaking or showing up on camera, just be real about like, not, oh, my voice is squeaky or, oh, I don't like my hair, but like, get feedback from a coach like me. I can give you feedback. Send me a video and I'll give you, feedback. Or you could watch your video back and say, okay, do I have the right energy? Do I feel positive? Am I smiling on camera? I think more people than not are a little low energy on camera. So if there's a baseline, many of us are just below the baseline because when we turn that camera on, we feel nervous and it sucks some of our energy. So when you're harnessing your energy, you're kind of like raising it for most people. Then there's a few people like me who need to smooth out the energy, talk a little slower and harness it. So PATCH, that is my patch system for being confident on camera.
What a cool system. And thank you so much for sharing those. I especially like how you touched upon the brag book method that you use, because that's something so often as entrepreneurs we forget. We forget to celebrate all of the wins along the way because we've done some really awesome things. But so often we're in this striving mode, this checking things off the to-do list, the mode of head down hustle mentality, which, okay, yes, you have to put in the work, but also take the time to reflect back on everything you have accomplished, because that will help get you through when times are tough. Because you're saying it, Kim. I'm saying it. Like, there are times we're human. We're going to doubt ourselves. We're going to get into our head. But this is another vital tool that you can use on those days where you're like, you know what, it'd just be easier to go get 9 to 5. No, you have an amazing service. You have an amazing product. No, there are people that need you. So it's time to get out of our own way and show up and do the darn thing, right?
Yep, 100%. You just have to like say, does this matter to me enough?
Yeah.
You have to say, like, I'm actually doing a keynote in the spring. And one of the things I'm talking about is the fear that's holding us back. And you have to weigh your desire versus your fear. So our current state is what it is. And if you aren't looking to grow, you don't need to do anything differently. But most of us are. If you're listening to this podcast, you're on social media, you want to grow, you're looking to grow your business. For me, my why was I wanted to build a business with flexibility and freedom so I could see my kids after school, but still do what I'm good at and passionate about. And for most of us, we have that why, some sort of why, whether it's freedom, family, it could just be control, financial freedom. But we have to say, how important is this? And if you really do want to grow your business in an easier way, like you said earlier, video is not going anywhere. It's the most effective tool. Video is shared the most. Like, people share video more. Buyers, clients, no matter your business, they want to see their businesses showing up on video. And especially if you're a service-based business, it's a no-brainer. Someone has to trust you. Someone has to trust you, and you can build that trust pipeline sooner. So I've had clients. I had this one client, Emily. We worked together in a program and two different programs, actually. She was a client of mine. And she said the videos we created together, they helped her have clients who were possibly considering working with her say yes quicker because she was priming them through her videos, right? So she was talking to them directly through these videos, and they came on the phone and they just knew her already and they said yes. So you have to remember that, especially in service-based industries, showing people what you're about and who you're about is super important, and video also gets you there faster. Algorithms love video, and you're building that know, like, and trust factor with your potential clients so much faster.
Yeah, yeah. I would love to shift gears and go into the tactical side a little bit
Sure.
more now because
Yeah.
I think that's super important that we touch
Sure.
on that is what would you say the number one thing someone can do to get clients from social media, from video? What is that number one thing we can do as entrepreneurs?
Sure. So I think in terms of there's like two factors. There's the making the content and then there's the engaging people to see the content. So I
Yeah.
think that it's important because those are actually two totally different things. And I think when we just like throw it all in the same bucket, it's not helpful. So I think when we're talking about making content, we are talking about connection and credibility. So what I mean by that is you have to have the credibility piece is you need for people to see you as an expert. So you have to build that credibility piece. That doesn't mean like, everyone's like, but I don't have like, I haven't been featured in this and that magazine. I'm like, that's not what it is. It means that you're an expert in your field, that you actually know what you're talking about and showing up as that. That means showing what you do, showing your client wins, showing your diplomas, degrees, whatever it is that builds that, right? So I like to say, so there's like the 4 C's of like how to actually get clients and leads with videos. So number one, we have the confidence piece, which we talked about. You have to show up on confidently with your message and showing confidently on camera, breaking through that fear. Then we're talking about clarity of message. So one video, one message. I have clients come to me and they're like, "Oh, I'm not really getting clients through my videos." You look at their feed and it's I'm not clear basically on who they are, but I'm also not clear on each video isn't like one message. People have very little attention spans. Short form video is the most consumed. It's the most engaged. It gets the majority of views are under 1 minute long. So 1 minute's not that long, right? It's a time for one message. So don't try to jam in more than one message. So we got that clarity. That's something that's super, super important that I think a lot of people are missing out on. So the major thing that I see is number one, people are not showing up on camera enough to build that connection with people. Two, the clarity. They need that clarity. I mentioned the credibility. You have to show up as the expert. When you start showing up as the expert, that is where it is. And the last piece is connection. So you could put out great content, but if you're not connecting with people and you're just plopping it out there and you're not really speaking to people and you're not really engaging with them, you're missing that last crucial step. So again, I think we forget that it's like feels awkward because you're like, well, this person doesn't know me. Like, I'm going to talk to them. I'm like, you're not walking up to their door and knocking on them. You're not door knocking. Like, this is not door knocking. They're on social media. If they have a public profile or if they hearted a post of yours, you can start a conversation with them. That's okay. And so I think in the same way that when you're online and you start thinking about like how many people are seeing my post or liking my post, blah, blah, blah. What if you walked into a coffee shop and like 5 people said, "Oh, this is Amy. She's a metrics maven. Do you want to talk to her?" I'd be like, "Yeah, great." You met 5 new people in a coffee shop. Great. And even better, you're in your house with your sweatpants doing that. So the connection and engagement piece, you can meet so many potential clients, so many leads on social media. Once you're putting out that great content, then you have to bring it into that connection part. You have to really bring them into your I don't want to say funnel. I hate the word funnel, but you have to bring them into your world more so they feel like they know you and they feel connected to you. And this is also where the more raw content can come from. Like Instagram stories is an amazing place to just show up with what is in your day. It's like I've had clients show up, they literally show up on camera, Instagram story, very casual, got a referral, which led to a client. It can be that easy, but you really need the strategy of understanding like the clarity of your brand and the clarity of your message. Once you have that, you can show up in more organic ways.
Yeah. What a crucial component. The connection piece is so often missing. At
Yep.
the end of the day, I think we've lost sight as to what the intent of social media was. We
Yeah,
forget
totally.
the whole like social part of it and we're treating it just like media. But when you take the time to connect, to engage, to make that person feel like, oh my gosh, she sees me, that's going to make you stand out amongst the noise because right now, nobody's really taking the time to do that. So just by being a human and taking the time to engage, that's naturally going to keep you top of mind. That's naturally going to bring more people into your world, get you more referrals, build your authority, build your credibility, all of those things. It's so simple, yet people aren't taking the time to do this.
Yep. It is. And I love your point about it's not a one-way tool. Like we're not on television. I used to work in television and you get numbers at the end of watching TV. They're like, here are the ratings of like how many people watched. But you didn't know who those people were. In social media, you do, right? And you have the opportunity to talk back with them. So again, especially for solopreneurs, especially for service professionals, we have this amazing opportunity to say, hey, like here's me walking my dog before my first meeting. Like, do you have a dog? And someone's like, I do have a dog. And it sounds really simple and silly, but it's actually what connects us in real life. So I think the main thing is the sort of conversations you would have in real life, you have to get more comfortable with replicating them online. And I think that's like the biggest like takeaway for people as they create video and as they get online is we all have the skills, meaning the interpersonal skills to make people want to speak with us, to have a conversation infused with our expertise to actually help people. So like let's say I feel comfortable, a lot of my clients, like they feel comfortable pitching clients, right? They feel comfortable in a sales meeting. They maybe borderline feel comfortable speaking on a stage, borderline, but it's really about me helping people replicate that in-person confidence to on camera because we all have it. Like everybody's like, I'm not good on camera. I say, that's not a thing. Like, it's not a thing. It's not a thing to say I'm not good on camera. Obviously, there's some people who are like really good on camera. They want to be journalists or they want to be influencers. That's okay. But when I'm talking about business people who are trying to show up on camera to do something, and there's no such thing as not being good on camera, right? And if you don't feel comfortable on camera, there's all different sorts of strategies that we could do to make videos in different ways. And I teach that in my video boot camp. I'm like, if you hate showing up on camera, there are ways that we can make videos with less of your face. I still think people need to hear your voice and see your face at some point, but it doesn't have to be all the time if you're not there yet. But I do think that it's really, really important to realize you're great as you are. You're good in meetings. People like you. People like talking to you. People like hearing your expertise. Your clients enjoy working with you. So it's really about giving you the skill set and the tool set and the mindset to transfer that to camera. And one of the things I do in my video bootcamp classes, we get on camera a lot. It's a group of us at the same time. We're all supporting each other. We're all encouraging each other. It's hard to go at it alone. It is. It's very hard. I know that. I did it. It was hard. I did it alone. I wish I had a crew at the time. And we do it together because you have that encouragement, that support.
I love that. Oh my gosh. Kim, this was amazing. Thank you so much for sharing just so much value, just tactical strategies with the listeners because it is hard. And if you're struggling to show up on video, to build that confidence on camera, make sure you get into Kim's world. She has such amazing resources, programs. She's got her video boot camp. You have a podcast. Tell us more about how we can get into your world and learn from you because you have a message. And it is so important that we get you past this little roadblock so that you can get seen by your ideal clients that need you, that are looking for you. So Kim, tell us, how can we get into your world?
Awesome. So I'm on Instagram and LinkedIn at Kim Rittberg, KimRittberg. I'm on YouTube also at Kim Rittberg Content. And I have this incredible program. It's called Video Boot Camp. I would love to chat with any listeners about it. Just drop me an Instagram and say, hi, I heard you on the show. And I also have a free download. 10 tips to make a video that makes you money with a bonus one about how to be confident on camera. So make sure to grab that. You can grab that at my website, kimrittberg.com. There's a little pop-up. You can just grab that or kimrittberg.com/tips. And in Video Bootcamp, it is a live group coaching program to really get you out of your head onto camera and then let's make content together. So we work together to write scripts, to get our message clear, and then to make videos. We make videos together in an interactive way. It's really, really fun. It's super impactful. Literally my clients and students from it have made millions of dollars in client income from it. So it's very, very fun for me to help them. And I have a podcast as well. So that's Video Bootcamp. So drop me a note. I'll send you more information on that. I'll link it out in the show notes. And then I also have a podcast called The Exit Interview. So it's all about people who left one thing and shifted into another. Usually it's corporate, into their own business. But you get to hear from them their inspirational journeys, but also the tips, the advice that they would pass on to you. So that's called The Exit Interview with Kim Rittberg. But I would love to just drop me an Instagram note and say hi. I'm very friendly and I'll give you free goodies. Yay.
I love it. Kim, thank you so much for being here today. I truly appreciate what you're doing because it is needed. There are so many people out there that just struggle with the video aspect of things, and it doesn't have to be nearly as complicated as they're making it. So thank you for being such a light in the online space and helping transform lives. You're amazing.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you having me.
Absolutely. And until next time, remember to leverage your data and shatter your sales plateau. Are you loving what you're hearing? Do us a favor and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss an episode.